and welcome to this video. My name is Anushka Gandhi and today's video is going to be kind of a real talk video wherein I'm going to share a few things about the ground reality of Canada, which most of you guys would not be aware about because people don't usually share such things with us while or before immigrating to a new country, perhaps Canada in this case. So these are the things which are kind of underrated in my opinion, and I think there is a need to discuss about such things because we always have certain perceptions about these things, especially about Canada while or before moving to this country. So this video has just one intention: to clear off all the doubts which you have about this country, and this is going to come from my personal experience, and it's going to be very transparent, and I'm going to be very honest in this video, in both good and bad terms. So before we begin with this video, I would like to say a big thank you and would like to show my gratitude to all those new subscribers who have joined this family, and I'm really very happy and thankful to you guys. And if you're someone who's watching this video now and haven't subscribed yet, please consider to subscribe to my channel because trust me, it gives me a lot of motivation and it just helps me keep going. So now, without wasting any further time, let's get started with this video. So the first thing down the row has to be the weather of Canada. Now I still remember back in the time when I decided Canada to be my country of choice to immigrate, everyone around me, my parents, my friends, my relatives, my neighbors, every known person came to me and said that the weather of Canada has to be the worst of all. And it literally scared me back then. But I would like to make it clear out there that the weather of Canada is harsh, could get harsh, but honestly you get going with it. I mean, no one here stops just due to the weather. I mean, even during the harshest times, people still keep going. They've got their jobs to do, they've got their things to do. So honestly, even if the weather is harsh here, you're going to cope up with that. We've got a lot of warm clothes to wear, we've got all those accessories which we can keep on while there's cold outside or warm outside. So this is just too overrated. I mean, I would clearly like to put it out there that no matter what, the weather is not going to stop you from anything. Initial few days of yours could be a little difficult to cope up with, but once you are into it, trust me, it's not going to. I mean, I literally remember times wherein there is like 10 degrees outside or 5 degrees outside, and I would just call my parents and say, hey, it's a nice weather outside. So honestly, it just spoken a lot about. So just ignore the weather part if you're someone who's hesitant to come into this country only because of the weather part, or you're concerned that you would not probably be able to cope up well with the weather. Just keep that thought aside and you'll be all good. It's just a matter of a few days, few initial days while you're here, and once you're into it, trust me, it's not going to bother you. No one literally is bothered by the weather here. People just get going with it. I mean, it's just like a normal routine for every Canadian or every immigrant here. So rest assured in that weather part, this is coming from my own personal experience. So thumbs up on that. So the second thing which I would like to mention is to work while you study. Now I know a lot of people are hesitant to work for odd jobs because most of the international students coming here are coming from a good educational background. I mean, I've seen engineers, I've seen doctors, I've seen whatnot. People are coming from good educational background, and working for an odd job while studying is kind of an inferior thing, inferior feeling. But trust me, it's just in your mind. I mean, working while you're studying, working for odd jobs is a very normal thing here. It's very common practice, and it is not only associated with international students but also the Canadians by birth. The Canadian students by birth also work part-time here while they're studying. So it's actually a good practice to earn while you study because then you earn your own money and you know how important that could be. Besides, if you're an international student, it could always be fun to earn in dollars, because that's always going to be your initial first kind of income while you're here, and it also gives you the tells you the importance, the significance of money, and then you spend wisely, of obviously, because those are your initial days and you would always want to save a lot. Besides, I know it gives you kind of an inferior feeling that, oh, am I really meant for it? Because I remember back in the time when I started my job, my first part-time job was to work at a Burger King store. And I was so hesitant to tell to my parents because I was like, what would they really think about me? Because obviously we come from a good educational background and would not want to work for odd jobs, and obviously our caring parents would say, oh, you don't really have to worry, if you need money just ask us and all that stuff. But honestly, the reason I want to put it out there is it's just overrated. Ignore the fact that what level you are at that particular moment, you're just a student, you don't earn. So always better to work part-time. I mean, it just gives you a good experience about Canadian culture. You get to meet people, you know how people talk, and just know how the Canadian culture is. So it's always better. I mean, I always enjoyed working part time, and I always had fun talking to people and knowing about the culture and everything. So yeah, I mean, I think if you're someone who is hesitant about working part time, or just hesitant about working in general, having certain insecurities, just take those off. I mean, if your insecurity is, even if it's like as simple as not being able to talk well in English, honestly just keep that aside, because you won't be the only person who would probably be a little weak in talking or would not have great communication skill. Because with time and practice, I think you'll just get there. So as long as you're starting somewhere, I mean, I think the best benefit of working part time is just to be able to be confident to talk to people and just knowing how things really work. I mean, it's just fun. So don't miss that. This is the reason why I want to put it out there. If you're someone, just get a part-time job. It's fun. You'll enjoy it, you'll earn money, and there are a lot of benefits, no loss. So the number 3 which I would like to mention is that we just don't have study and work, but there's also a third component, which is to cook. Obviously, you would not want to eat outside every day, because at one point you would just drain all your money and then you would get bored. So the one thing I would like to put it out there is that please get some cooking lessons before you come here. Now, this is a ground reality. I mean, I have seen people suffering, people crying out because they don't know how to cook. Now, I've always been fortunate to have good roommates who would cook for me, and I would be the one washing dishes, but you might not be fortunate enough. So get some cooking lessons before you come here, at least the basic stuff like rice and rotis, I guess, and some basic curries. Besides, you might think that it's going to be quite difficult to manage all of it all together. Trust me, it is difficult. At sometimes I've literally cried. I mean, not because I was starving or something, because sometimes you just miss your home. You just miss how your mother would serve you with good food, with warm food, and life is just fun. So not just that, not just getting cooking lessons, but I would also ask you to enjoy all those recipes, those favorite recipes back home before coming here, because trust me, you're going to miss them a lot. So just just give a list to your mom and ask her to prepare all those delicacies which you love before coming here, because you're going to miss them and you don't know when you're going to get those to taste back. So not to make you emotional, but just to make you aware that cooking lessons and mom food, get a hold of it. So the number 4 which I'd like to mention is the overrated life here. Now, I know, because I've heard it from a lot of people and I've seen it in several videos wherein people would think that us, the immigrants in Canada, are living a wonderful life. They're like, their life is sorted, and I don't know, they're just having fun. I wouldn't say that we are not having fun. I wouldn't say that we are suffering. I wouldn't say that I'm in a lot of trouble or I'm complaining. I'm not. Trust me. But it's too overrated. I mean, come on, guys. I've seen people working there. They're working a lot here. I've seen people struggling a lot. I mean, it's not all fun and games for everybody. So the one thing I would like to tell you is, if you are someone who is going to immigrate to this country and you're thinking that as soon as you step into this country, everything is going to be all cherry blossoms, trust me, it's not going to be like that. Because the people whom you're looking up to, they've they've been there, they've reached there after a lot of struggles. So don't have those high hopes in your mind that as soon as you step into this country, everything is going to be all fun and all good, because those initial days are always going to be hard for everybody, because you're coming, of course, to a new country with just a suitcase. I mean, what would you expect? So keep your expectations low. Everything is going to be fine. You need to get your own time. You will need your time to reach there, and you definitely will. But obviously, don't just have high hopes. Be consistent, be on the floor, be on the ground, be grounded, and be consistent. You'll come across a lot of difficulties, but I'm pretty sure you'll get through it. So, the next thing which I would like to talk about is the lack of feeling of belonging. I mean, you know how in India or probably in any other country we would have those good relations with our neighbors, and people would often talk with each other. I mean, I wouldn't say they don't do here, they do. But there's no feeling of belonging. You would not feel attached to people around you. For some reasons, people are busy in their own lives, of course. And that is the main part which I miss about this country, at least for me so far. I wouldn't say it's bad, but this could sometimes. I mean, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of international students, immigrants, going through this phase of loneliness or going through certain depression, feeling homesick, which I think for some reason is very common here, because after all, everyone is busy in their own life. I mean, no one is going to come to you and say, "Hey, let's hang out," because I know some people would do, but after all, you know how it is, because everyone has come here alone, and then they have their own goals to reach and their own life after all. So yeah, I mean, that is the thing, because I still remember I've met a few people, like while going back to India, there was this girl who was with me in my flight, and she was telling me that she's going back. She came here for studies, and it's just been 6 months, and she's already feeling homesick, and she's going back. So this is not just a single incident. I've seen a lot of incidences happening. So what I would say is, just don't keep any expectations while you come here. I mean, yeah, eventually you will have a good social life, but at least for those initial few years, I would say, just be strong. Just yeah, I mean, nowadays we've got a lot of facilities wherein we can just do a video call with our family members or friends, to feel better, or just hang out with our roommates. I mean, or just watch TV. I mean, the first thing I do is I just watch TV or just call my mom if I feel homesick. So this is something which is very common. You should not be shy of, may you be a girl or a boy, because this is something, homesickness is something which each one of us would face. After all, we are leaving our family, our friends, our country, and coming to a whole different new country wherein we don't know anyone here. So just to think that, please normalize the fact that depression or homesickness is common, but again, you need to fight it by yourself. Eventually you're going to have your own family here, so take it on a positive note and just keep going, because remember, after all, you're here to for your own life, for your own progress, just to be good. So just do that. So I think that was all about today's video. Just wanted to put a few points out there, because I think these are necessary to know. I mean, I know there's some people who could be hesitant before coming to this country, thinking of all sort of things. I know even my brother was hesitant before coming here, because for coming here rather, because obviously he had a lot of thoughts about my family. He wanted to take care of my parents, and of course it's a big decision to move to a new country. So I just want to clear those doubts for you guys. If you would have any further doubts or would want to know something in specific about Canada or international students or your immigration, please feel free to reach out down there. Just post your comment and let me know. I would be very happy to help you out there. I'll meet you in my next video. Until then, goodbye.